top 5 stuttering triggers that hold you back, and some real help. If you track words, if you switch words to avoid stuttering, if you freeze on the first word you say, if you dread phone calls, if you dread saying your own name, you are not alone. There's some real help. This is a little bit more in-depth video than some of the shorts I have put up there, so you can get some real help. Trigger number one, thinking about the word, tracking the word. Has anybody ever tracked words? Have you thought about what you were going to say? Has anybody told you, think about what you were going to say? Ugh. If you track words, if you anticipate stuttering on that word, maybe a problem word for you, right? Mine always started with the letter, the sounds D and L. Any D and L words I struggled with. The pressure would build. I'd anticipate stuttering. It used to drive me crazy, right? The word difficult or level were so problematic for me. I wanted to just use different words, which brings me to trigger number two. Trigger number two, switching words, changing words. When you switch words, when you change words, you are training your brain to avoid. Instead, you want to say the word. You want to say what you want to say, when you want to say it. What you want to say, when you want to say it. That's the point of all this. That's the point of these videos. So you can have confidence, you can gain confidence, and have the freedom to say what you want to say, when you want to say it. So we want to take the power away from that word, whatever word it is, or whatever sounds it is, so you can say it, not avoid those words. Trigger number 3, the first words. Do you freeze up? Do you block? I told you, there was those D words, L words. There was one word in particular. In a different career, I had a sales position, and the word was level. The company for which I worked sold level indicators for the process industry. Not important. Anyway, the first word, calling a prospective customer sometimes, or during a conversation, and I had to reply, that first word was level indicators. And I blocked. I think I used a filler to get through it. Probably an Who hasn't used I've used it. So level, right? You want to get my voice going by using and level, or I don't know how I got through it. The block, the freeze up, the tension totally took over. That's all I could feel. I could not get it out. I couldn't even force it out. That's how difficult it was that night. So what did I have to learn to do? Here it was. Level indicators versus level indicators. What did I do? I stretched that L word out a little bit. I stretched the L out. I stretched it a little bit, and I was really gentle and light when my tongue touched the roof of my mouth for the L, right? There was contact made, tongue to roof of mouth. They touched, and I was light, and you could still understand it. All right, trigger number 4, the phone call, the dreaded phone calls. There is time pressure in a phone call, and it is the time in phone calls is shorter versus talking to a communication partner. You don't have as much time on the phone before there's an awkward silence. Nobody wants awkward silences. Everyone tries to avoid the awkward silence. At that point, with the phone calls, that pressure continues to attack. I told you when I was on the phone with that potential customer that I froze, but I was also on the phone, and that increased the pressure. Totally. I tried to force it out. I'm sure I did. But that hard attack, that fighting with my vocal cords and my lips and tongue, all of that fighting did not work. That doesn't work. It may work sometimes for some people. Fine, forcing it out. Oh, it worked this time. It may not work the next time. You need to stretch that a little bit, right? That versus level or uh, difficult, difficult, right? Stretch it a little bit, turn the pressure down, take some of the pressure and turn that turn that pressure down so you could get through those moments. Heart attacks and pushing and forcing will only create more pressure for you. Trigger number 5, saying your own name. I know that's very difficult for many. It was for me as well, especially if you're on the phone, right? I have to say my name, Chris. It could have been Chris versus Chris. Or hello, it's Chris. Or hello, it's Chris. There's a difference. There's pressure coming off. There's me being light and gentle versus that hard force, which only frustrates you more when you're trying to say your name. So the whole goal, that was trigger number 5. The whole goal of all this is for you to have smoother, more confident speech. When I post videos, that's my hope for you, that you could have more confident speech overall, because there's a common thread through all this. These triggers, the 5 that I mentioned, they all thrive on what? They thrive on tension. They thrive on fear. They thrive on history, past moments of stuttering. I still remember some, which I just told you about. They thrive on that, and that eats away at your confidence. So what triggers hold you back? You can comment, like, maybe even follow. What triggers are there for you? Those are mine. And I post these videos so you can gain real confidence and have or gain a win at a time, right? You want to stack fluency wins. That's a whole goal of these videos. It's to help you control the tension a little bit, decrease the tension a little bit, learn every time you speak versus putting added pressure on you that you have to be 100% fluent in everything you do, with every communication partner. You don't have to be 100% fluent. No one is. But if you should happen to stutter, you have ways to get through those moments. Or if you're feeling that pressure build, you can use those moments, gain wins through that, through using some of these ways of decreasing pressure and increasing your confidence, gaining confidence. I say it often, happy fluency. Happy fluency isn't perfect speech. It isn't 100% fluent. It is progress over perfection. Happy fluency is progress over perfection. Happy fluency.